So Hebrew is just based on language, not really tribe, not really ethnicity.
So, for example, right, I am an Israelite.
Yeah.
I don't speak Hebrew. So why would people call me a Hebrew Israelite? I am an Israelite. We are the Israelites. So, in a more accurate term would be, hey, I'm an English. You want to call me an English Israelite? That'd be more accurate because that's the language I speak. But so that term is something that even when we tell people, hey, we're the Israelites. You know what I mean? So,
So it's
you know.
that so Hebrew is just based on language, not really.
Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well and teach this truth with all honesty and sincerity. Salutations to you brothers around the four corners of the earth that push this truth with all honesty and sincerity with great diligence to wake up the hopeful elect of Israel. Double shalom to you, Akim, that come looking like the heathen, but you are in fact of the stock of Israel, and you hold near and dear this truth, and follow the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities, wherever you may be scattered. And shalom to the few sincere Akwatium that listen and learn in silence, playing your creation role as the Lord commanded you to, which is in our subjection and reverencing your husbands, being his pillar of rest. It's your brother Azor from GMS St. Louis, and here we have what you just watched was uh, Captain Shem of the IUIC saying that he's not a Hebrew Israelite, he's just an Israelite. And if you want to call him anything, you could say they're English Israelites. As if where first of all, he said because he doesn't speak Hebrew. So what is Shem? It's really Shem. You know? What is Nathan Yalla? Why do you guys have to change your names from a coon name to a Hebrew name? But you're saying you don't speak Hebrew. Then what in English Israelite? The Israelites descend from the sons of God. They're through the Shemitic lineage, man. Through Shem comes Eber, and through Eber, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's not just a language, man. It's a nationality. You have other nations that are Hebrew nations. The so-called Chinese, they come out of Shem. They're a Shemitic people, and that term is Shemitic, not Semitic. It's Shemitic. The Middle Eastern or Shemitic people. So-called white people are Shemitic people. You have the the Hebrew Elamites, Hebrew Ammonites, Hebrew Moabites, Hebrew Edomites. You have the Hebrew Israelites. So you know these guys, they just sow discord and so stir up confusion, man. Every time you turn on one of their interviews or some skit or something, is always putting out some confusion, man, to the people. What I have been saying, you know, when you see these guys going against the doctrine and teaching some far out ass shit, that's that bag talk, man. These guys being bought and paid for and not you know, by the Lord, but by Esau Edom, man. You know, they rather, you know, chump out and sell out for Esau Edom, man. When you reading that this man is about to be destroyed, you seeing this man going down before your very eyes. This late in the game, and you got your head up your asses, man. How do you have a Hebrew name and saying you don't speak Hebrew, so you're not a Hebrew Israelite? It's just for controversy, man. This is just outrageous, man. Because you don't want to be associated. Hey, Esau is gonna Esau look at you as a Hebrew Israelite, man. Regardless of what you're saying, or you're trying to get away from the stigma that Hebrew Israelites have, or whatever, you're ashamed, man. You think Esau Edom gonna look at you when he bring that wrath down? You think he gonna look at the Yasher Allah Lakers, the purple and gold boys, and say, oh, well, they're different from those guys over there? No, Esau knows your lineage. He knows who you are. He knows you're his enemy. He just wanna see how far you're gonna shuck and jive for him. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphah, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dedan. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families and their nations. And the sons of Ham. So those would be the sons of Japheth, would be like the Greeks, the original Greeks, the Etruscans, you know, those today they would be of the um, Pacific Islanders, because they were pushed out from Greece in that area to the Pacific Islands. You know, those Samoans. And so now we get to the Hamites, or the so-called Africans. And the sons of Ham, Cush, being those Ethiopians, and Mizraim, the Egyptians, and Put, and Canaan, those South Africans. And the sons of Cush, Sabah, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabteka. And the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. You know, so we have the Japhetic lineage, and we have the Hamitic lineage mentioned. And we'll jump down to 21. that I mentioned, all the Sodom and Gomorrah, and those were Hamites, man, doing that. Those were Hamites doing that, man. Verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber. You see? Because Shem carried their righteous the righteous way all the way down to Eber. The brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem. So these are all the Shemitic people. Elam, the so-called East Indian, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. You get those Syrians. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad, and Shelef, and Hazar Maveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Misha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nation. You see? So the sons of Shem is a nation unto itself. And then you have tribes, man. This is why you have the 12 tribes of Israel, which Israel being Jacob, because there was a specific lineage that the blessing went unto. You see the blessing, um, that right seed, man. Noah to Shem, and Shem's descendant unto Eber, and Abraham unto Isaac, and Isaac unto Jacob. You see, but there is a specific lineage, and just because you speak a language, you can learn to speak any language. So how does learning you okay? Somebody learns Spanish. Okay, are you a Spanish Israelite? The hell out of here, man. These people are so full of it, man, and it's so obvious. Okay, the Lord said we was gonna discontinue from our heritage. The slaves that were brought here were speaking Hebrew. And what happened? They were made to not speak that. And they speak English. So does that change your fucking lineage? Does that change your heritage? Does that change who you are? What the Lord stamped on you by birth, by blood right? I mean by birthright, by blood, by bloodline. Does that change who you are? If I have a child and move to China, oh, now he's a Moabite Israelite. The hell out of here, man. That sounds stupid, man. And you sitting up here on the platform with a Hebrew name talking about you don't speak Hebrew. And the elders and apostles always get on these guys because they do not go into the etymology of words. So they don't understand, or they will not try to understand what a word means, what things really mean in its origin. So if he doesn't even know Hebrew, how can he say what his name is? Shem. Your name is Captain Name. Your name is Name. But if you don't speak Hebrew, you don't know. Bozos, man. Let's go to the book of Numbers. This is Numbers 1 and 18. And it reads, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. As the Lord commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. Now, let's read that in the NLT. And they assembled the whole community of Israel on that very day. All the people were registered according to their ancestry by their clans and families. The men of Israel who were 20 years old or older were listed one by one. Just as the Lord had commanded Moses, so Moses recorded their names in the wilderness of Sinai. You see, so your who you are is directly tied to your father and his father and his father. That's how a lineage works. That's how a bloodline works, man. The father passes the seed on. Whatever the father is, that's what the child is going to be. No matter what language they speak, no matter what land they're born in, you're going to be what your father is. That's just like two Hamites moving to Russia or moving to China and saying, "Oh, I don't speak what is it, Swahili or clicks. I don't speak that, so I'm not an Egyptian, or I'm not a Sudanese, or like that's madness, man." If I take an apple seed from or an orange seed from Florida and take it to the Bahamas, or take it to Belize or wherever and grow it over there, it's still going to be the same type of fruit that's going to come from that seed. Only thing changes the soil. Only thing changes the location. These guys, lead people astray, and they're trying to duck the persecution, but it's coming anyway. You see, there you can't uh disassociate yourself, and you really look foolish, man. And that's how you look to the enemy. You look foolish trying to backpedal. There are different Hebrew nations, and you want to say you're not one of them, but guess what? Esau Edom knows you are. So it don't matter what you say, what you do, how much you shuck and jive, and all that. He's still gonna bring the wrath. And guess what? The Heavenly Father see you doing this. And guess who controls Esau Edom? The Heavenly Father on the left hand side. So while you trying to uh, uh, deny the heritage, the Lord is going to use His sword on the left hand side to bring that judgment on you. Speaking a language doesn't make you that nation, or if you don't speak that language, it don't make you not of that nation. What is uh, um You know, it mentions in the Acts about the Greek speaking Jews. They were still Jews, and Jew is short for Judah or Yahweh, which, you know, the so-called Negro is a tribe of Judah. Let me get some more precepts. This is the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 2 and verse 33. I start at verse 32. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love, especially from your oppressor? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways. You see, you trimming your ways, trying to seek love from you know, a nation of people that's gonna come, that's gonna be against you no matter what. Even if you sell out, they're still gonna be against you. So go to the book of Acts. This is Acts chapter 6 and verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, It is not reason that we should leave the word of God, of Yahweh, and serve tables. Now, let me read this in the NLT. But as the believers rapidly multiplied, there were rumblings of discontent. The Greek-speaking believers complained about the Hebrew-speaking believers. So right there is two sets of believers. You have the Jews that were among the Greeks, and you had the Jews that knew they were Jews. So you had Israelites in coming up in different customs, in the Greek customs, that believed, the Israelite foreigners, and you had the Hebrew Israelites that knew they were Hebrew Israelites from birth and raised up in those customs. Right there, it shows you. Now I'm gonna go to the interlinear and show you that it's G1675 Hellenistic Jews.
Strong's G 1675 Hellenistes.
A Hellenist, one who imitates the manner and customs or the worship of the Greeks and use the Greek tongue. Used in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek. Grecians. A Hellenist or a Greek-speaking Jew. So they still from the tribe of Judah. They still Israelites, but they speak another language. Does that mean that they're not of, that particular nation? No, it's the same as a nigga today that say, "Oh, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I'm an American." Nigga, your bloodline, your lineage determines what you are, not the land that you move to or the language that you speak. Okay, now we go to what it says native Hebrews.
Strong's G 1445. Hebraios. Hebraios.
Hebrew, anyone of the Jewish or Israelitish nation. Okay, Jewish is made up. Ish means like or pertaining to. You're acting like. Okay, what it says Israelitish nation. Okay, so basically a native of Jerusalem or a native of Israel that speaks Hebrew. So right there, it shows you that you can have a nation of people. Some of them speak their native tongue, which is Hebrew, and some that grow up in other customs, speaking a language of some of another fashion, of another tongue. But that has nothing to do with your lineage. If a so-called Chinese person or AKA a Moabite come to America and say, "Oh, I'm not Chinese, I'm American," you're gonna look at them stupid. That's exactly how your enemy looking at you like, "Oh, this motherfucker dumb." We got one. You ashamed of this ministry, man, that your lineage, your heritage, man. Why? To seek approval from a man that's going down. He's halfway out the fucking window. Let's go to the book of Titus, chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 9. Holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, that he may be able to, by sound doctrine, both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. And you see, those that know they're Israelites, man, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, "The Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies." This witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. And that's why, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, always rebuking these guys, and not just them, but any camp that's not teaching according to the sound doctrine, man. This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 15. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. Talking about those Israelites that know they're Israel first, and the Israelites that have a heathen mother or brought up in the heathen customs. Because this is not for any old nation. It's talking to a specific people. And yes, hey, all through the Old Testament, man, the Lord scattered the Israelites among all the different nations, man, as a punishment unto them. So yes, the apostles, especially Paul, he was going around fishing for those Israelites, man, among the other nations that spoke a different language, man. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, and verse 15. Matter of fact, I started 14, an unashamed workman. Of these things put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord that they strive not about words to no profit, but to the subverting of the hearers. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. And this is what you see, man. And their word will eat as doth a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus, who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some. Nevertheless, the foundation of Yahweh standeth sure, having the seal that the Lord knoweth them that are his, and let every one that nameth the name of Hamashiach depart from iniquity. You see, but this is what they do not do. They do not study to show themselves approved. You know, they're ashamed of the heritage the Lord gave them, and they don't rightly divide the word of truth. This is madness, man. But you can best believe that there's going to be some more wise tales and fables and just bullshit being spewed from out of their mouths, man. But I hope you understand there are different Hebrew nations, but the Hebrew Israelites were um, the chosen people, the chosen lineage. Hope this has been an edifying lesson. I'm gonna say Kwam Yasharala, Shalom, and Abba Babal.